So before we get into this review, I just got to start off with saying, Tagashi, already, bro, already. We're like, what, 4 or 5 chapters into the manga returning, about 4 chapters. I believe this is like the 4th or 5th one. And he's already going to be taking off next week. Not feeling good, because if he's going to be continuing his same pattern regarding the hiatuses, then I honestly wouldn't be surprised, and I'm being serious here, if either 1 chapter before or 1 chapter after the Dark Continent, we either depart or arrive, he's going to go on a hiatus for like a year or 2. And if that's the case, oh my gosh, it's going to be a hell of a wait. But if he's already taking a week off, then it's safe to say that Tagashi ain't stopping his hiatuses. He might have improved his art dramatically and gone back to a quality where I can say, yo, this looks pretty awesome. But the hiatus is like, nah, the laziness ain't going to stop. So the beginning of the chapter, I was kind of wondering exactly what was going on in a way, because Ging and Gong are talking on the phone, and Gong is saying basically, I can't form my nen anymore. And he's like, it was fine when I was with you. But then shortly after, he says basically that when he's talking with Mito, that he couldn't really feel the presence of his father, and had he been able to use nen, he would have probably gone with him or something. But that kind of contradicts one another, and it just kind of has me a little bit confused, because if he could use it originally when he was with Ging, wouldn't he have been able to feel his presence anyway? Because if he couldn't feel his presence and everything, then although they technically met, he truly hasn't really met Ging. He hasn't been able to feel the presence of Ging. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if this is what Tagashi was referring to when he said he's expecting some reader backlash, because the way he's doing this right now, first of all, this is kind of giving a little bit of clarification that regarding the upcoming Dark Continent arc, Gon ain't going to really have a role. It seems as though he's just going to sit back, he's going to take a back burner, which it's just weird because he's the main character. That's kind of like, just having Naruto not do anything, or Ichigo or Luffy, and they're just kind of like, well, we'll see you in 2 or 3 years. But for now, we're going to focus on other characters, so this might be what Tagashi was referring to regarding this reader backlash he might be receiving. And it was just really interesting seeing that after this long journey to find Ging, when Gon is talking to Mito, he's kind of saying like, when I finally met him, it really wasn't like meeting my father. He didn't really feel like a fatherly figure. It was more so, oh, this amazing relative with all these stories. It was kind of like him meeting his uncle or something, like, oh man, my uncle's amazing, and then I finally met him, oh, all these great stories. But he didn't really feel like, yo, this is my dad, I'm so fucking hyped. And it's interesting because while he's going to be, having downtime, going back to a normal life, or at the very least for the time being, this can give him an opportunity to reassess his life and reassess what he wants to do. And the interesting thing is as well, while everyone else is continuing their journeys, Kitawa's going to continue with a Luca around there, and just everybody's continuing their lives. He's got to go back to normalcy, and I'm curious if Gon would be able to adapt back to that. Like, a lot of times when I see characters like, let's just say you go back to a series like Yu Yu Hakusho, after having these fantastical adventures and going on all these amazing rides, it's really hard to adjust to going back to normal life. I mean, like, Mito smacks him with so much homework at the end, and it's like, I had the government on me and everything, now you gotta make up for all this. I guess for a kid it might be a little bit easier because Gon is younger than the average protagonist, but it just seems like it would be difficult after going through this amazing journey, these powers, this craziness, to just go back and do homework and live normal life. I don't know, that really kind of got me interested just regarding like the psyche of Gon and how Gon will react after trying to adapt to society in, a normal way, a normal fashion of how a kid his age would, how he's going to come out of all this. And again, we probably won't see him for years. This will probably be the last time we talk about Gon for God knows how many years. But yeah, it was just really interesting to see that he's got to go back to living a regular life. Is anyone getting a Hannibal Lecter vibe from Pariston in regards to just, first of all, the way he looks just like the actor from the Hannibal TV series, but just this vibe of constantly searching for what will make him, in a sense, happy regarding like these fucked up thoughts that he gets. And it's kind of like, he's basically starting to feel like he hates Ging now, and he's never hated anybody. And if he wants to just do the most fucked up things to people that hate him, because he wants to be hated, and then once these people hate him, it gives him this urge to do things to them. Just imagine what he's going to do to people that he hates, if he's never hated anyone before. So it's really awakening something in Pariston with all the things that Ging is doing, fucking up the plan, and how everything he had, set a course. And Pariston is one weird individual, I will say that. Like, I kind of can't grasp exactly how fucked up he is and what is his motives and goals, because he just kind of seems like he wants to have a good time with like a lot of these fucked up things, but there's clearly more to him than meets the eye. Maybe he does have aspirations to break down the barrier between this world and the Dark Continent, or, you know, this land and Dark Continent. Maybe he wants the Dark Continent to swallow up the regular world, and he just wants to adventure off and, you know, just fuck up humanity or something. There's so many questions as to what Pariston is really after, but at the end of the day, you can definitely see that Pariston is pissed the fuck off, and he wants to take Ging's head, with Ging just kind of taking command and slowly changing these people's minds, because there is definitely a purpose. Now, it was clarified for me anyway in this week's chapter regarding the position of second in command, because for him to say he's messing up everything, that means that he holds dearly this second position, you know, being second in command. And if Ging takes that away from him, it's going to piss him off, because there's some value at the very least to Pariston's plan with being number 2. And maybe it's just me, but I feel like there's some crustiness to some of these hunters where they're kind of like, I don't know, you know, we'll split into 2 groups, and until everyone accepts your money. Like, this dude is throwing money out the ass. First of all, Ging, your pockets is fat, bro. Like, yo, how much money does Ging have when he's offering like double the amount for everyone involved, which he's still calculated more or less that there shouldn't be like no more than 25 people on this journey, so he's not stupid. Again, that shows Ging, while he may come across as like a pinhead or some shit, he is very fucking wise. Don't fuck with Ging. But he has fuckloads of money. If some of these people were promised like 200 million, so he got to pay 400 million per person. Like, Ging on his journeys and his travels, he must have racked up billions for this journey. And we also get to find out that these people are going to be vital to this mission, because first of all of them started becoming hunters just for this purpose. They're all specialists, and they all started off for this. And now I'm starting to understand as well why Ging values them in a sense, and being number 2 also will give him control over some of these people. He can have them listen to him when they have these special abilities, and it can help him navigate through the Dark Continent. But I'm sure there's more to it than that. I'm sure that being number 2, there's more worth than just having control over some of these specialists. And speaking of Hannibal, the prince that Kurapika is after is a fucked up person as well. It's like, yo, Hunter x Hunter just continues to get darker and darker. This dude is having shorties go up to his lair, and then he's slaughtering them if they're not wise enough or aren't into enough interesting things that he's into. And then he's like, yeah, bring the next bitches up. Like, Kurapika ain't gonna have no walk in the park with this guy either. When they do finally meet up on that ship or whatever, it's not going to be easy. Like, Kurapika's just going to fuck him up. This guy is clearly going to be a challenge, and this is going to span a great deal throughout the Dark Continent arc. This is not going to be, you know, quick swipe and he's going to get through to him. Even though Kurapika stated at the end of this chapter, I've had people say, I'll rather die than give it to you, and they're still alive, and they changed their minds. So Kurapika ain't nothing to fuck with either, but overall, it's looking like it's going to be a crazy journey to the Dark Continent, but I'm just scared right now. I'm really scared with Togashi taking his first hiatus. We already got hiatus numero uno, and this could mean that he's going to be going on a long hiatus at some given point, whether it be 5 months from now, a year from now, and if that's the case, it's going to really suck if we just are about to leave to the Dark Continent. It's like everything's set up, we have some amazing setups going on, or if we just arrive to the Dark Continent, we see something fucked up, like a character gets beheaded, and then, oh, well, see you fuckers in 2 years. Like, I will be raging if he pulls some shit like that. Like, Togashi, just stop being fucking lazy. Overall, another solid chapter. Not as crazy as some of the past couple ones, but it was still a pretty damn good chapter, and it had a lot of information, kind of really giving an idea that Gon ain't gonna be relative for a long period of time to anything for that matter, because he's basically going to be looking for what he wants out of life. Does he want a normal life? Maybe while this arc goes on, years will pass, and this will give Gon an opportunity. Okay, I traveled the world, I went on incredible journeys with my friends, and now I'm being able to live a regular life and understand a normal lifestyle. Which one do I really want? Do I want the normal life, or do I want to go back and be a hunter? So I'll give this chapter a 7.5 out of 10. It was good. For the most part, I liked how things are setting up and play, where you got Pariston is slowly building up his anger, and when he fucking flips out, him and Ging are gonna have one death battle at the very least, or he's gonna fucking like try to kill Ging in his sleep. Something major is going to happen between the two of them. Also, it's getting built up between Kurapika and the Prince. The Prince ain't going to go down by a long side. If you see he's massacring chicks, he's a sick motherfucker, and that means that at the very least, he is somewhat formidable, and he's not going to go down easily for Kurapika to give him those eyes. And yeah, pretty fucking awesome chapter. Let's just get to that Dark Continent already. I'm waiting. I'm excited. But let me know what you guys think of this chapter. First of all, Pariston. Do you think that once they get to the Dark Continent, he's just going to wage war against Ging? What do you think his ultimate goal is? Do you think he just wants to fuck up the world itself and, like, kill the boundaries between this one and the Dark Continent? What do you think is he up to? And do you think this is clarification that Gon will no longer be relative to the manga for a long period of time? And just your overall thoughts of the chapter. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do so as well. That'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.